Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing with our build from Fanhome for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord with part 32. So without further ado, it's building time. This appears to be the Tyrannosaurus chest piece. Let's put that to one side. Let's see what we got. So we got the what should be the chest piece itself, made out of the ABS plastic. I think all of this is ABS plastic. There's a number of little bits and pieces throughout this part. We'll see where all of this goes in a bit. We have our LED or our infrared diode for the lights. We have screws. We have clips and we have some metal rods. Let's not mix those up. Presumably they will be for the articulation of the body, for allowing the head to collapse into the chest. So first up we take the chest piece and we need to clip in the two torso parts. These are not denoted as left or right, and I think they can. Yeah, so these should be able to go either way. Yep, they're both marked the same numbers, so it appears that they need to clip in to these hinges. And nope, it's not going. So as far as I can tell, they should just clip in like so and push back to. This bit's quite fiddly because it's unclear which part needs to push in first for these to fit. Plus, it's a very tight fit. So it's definitely a case of the tabs clipping with the lips and vice versa. So let's put that there and slowly hinge it down, see if that works. Nope. This is problem is I don't want to push too hard and break it either, but I think it does need force to have it clip in. Is that how it's going? Is it going from the right? I think so. Right. Yes, okay. Right. So while we're fitting this from the inside, this will actually stick out onto the outside. So it's a case of getting this lined up. I wonder if I do it this way. There. Well, that's the easier way to do it. So it tells you to fit it from the inside, but it's actually easier to fit this from the outside. So what we need to do is essentially bring this up underneath, allow it to rest there on the two lips, and then push and clip this up into the lips here, and then it fits. Hopefully there is going to be some sort of back panel in here which will stop that from pushing out, but we'll see in a bit. Okay, and then next we need to take our this piece, and we take the the smaller of the two rods. Yes, we take the smaller of the two rods and slide. No, take that piece as well, and that clips over like that, and then the pin will slide through like so. Again, it's one of those bits which you're going to want something hard to push down on in order to get it all the way in. There we go. Yep. Then this part will fit in like so. Yes. Well, that's interesting. I don't know why that's on a hinge. There's never been anything connected with the Zords which caused that to... I guess we'll see in time. So with that in, we need one of our screws. Bring in a trusty screwdriver. Doing some other work yesterday and changed the screw heads around, and I haven't changed them back to the right one. Yep, that's it. Make sure you're always working with the right screw head. There we go. In. This is a very strange I've never known the Megazord to have a hinge here, so I'm not quite sure what this bit is for, especially since it's now asking for us to put in this part. Okay, so this is going to awkward fitting screw. That's obviously for the clip into the chest, but again, I generally don't know why we have this bit. Maybe it's a way of fixing the pterodactyl later on. I don't know. It's certainly a new way to, or a new part to the Zord that I haven't seen in any other Megazord I've ever bought before. So that's definitely interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that works. Then we need this piece, which is shown as grey on the instructions. Well, it's shown as grey in the instructions, and then the assembled pitch is black, so that's useful. initially we need our infrared, and that appears to be going down at the base here. So we're going to want our screws. No, off. This is going to be another one of those awkward ones. Put that through there. Then let's just bring that down to there and give that a slow little twist. Then we can line this one up. We can bring in our other screw. Come on. There we go. That's one. That's two. There we go. And then this comes in. Fugal. That is supposed to feed through there, and I missed that. Damn instructions. I can sort of see the wire on the instructions, but it's essentially a very light grey wire against a light blue background, so of course everything just kind of looks the same. Now I think there are instructions online for these. I might see if that's any better, maybe use off the tablet or something. No, we'll see. Come on. Come on, there you are. There we go. Let's get go. There we go. So, we need to feed this through like so. There it is. Come on. There we go. There we go. Do this again. Into place. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's that sorted. We now need our other pin, and this should go on like sort of. So I think this just literally goes through. So it literally just goes through the pinholes and the hinge on the torso. Yeah. Like so. I haven't got this lined up properly yet, but that seems to be it. It's really unclear. It doesn't. Yeah, it needs to have a. About as far as it's going to go. I guess it's supposed to be like that. It doesn't. Well, I suppose if it's on a sitting, maybe that's going to hip it. It's very weird. I'm not sure on that, but I'm guessing that's correct. I think I'm going to move on to the next part and we'll see how it goes. For the next part we will need the battery, so I'm just going to put some bits to one side and go get the battery. So next up we have part 33, which is more of the torso. So essentially all we've got this issue is the big torso piece, which is quite heavy despite being made solely of the ABS plastic. Our battery cover and the various screws and whatnot for our Zord. So let's see how this goes. So we've got a bunch of washers again. There we go. Oh, I hate the static on these things. So washers in there. We're going to need 3 of these tiny black screws and a whole bunch of these silver screws. And once again, plastic stuck to me. Oh. Static on these plastic is ridiculous. There we go. Come on, there's a good go. There we go. Right, so we've got the battery. Let's not get this prepared ahead of it. Again, just a quick reminder, as I had the one-off purchase delivery, the batteries were packaged separately from the actual individual parts. As always, this will fit around our that will fit around our battery like so, and that battery can go to one side for now. So first up we need to bring in our arms, and these are going to fit either side. So this one will go here and the other one will go on the left side. So let's do the left first. easiest way to do this. Yep. Line that up. We're going to need washers, and as always it's easiest to get tweezers for that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the washers onto the tweezers to begin with. That was the easier option. One. Two. Three. That's four now, so 5. I'm going to need 8 of these. 6. 7. 8, and looks like we've got 1 spare for each, or of each, should I say. There we go. Now, let's bring in our parts again. So the arm is a simple hinge here, and that just literally slides into place. And then we get our screws, and literally just screw it into place. Oh, come on. You know you want to. There's a good gun. Sort of. No. It's going to be tricky as Hades, isn't it? There we go. Screwdriver might be a little large to get into the position, so I'm going to bring it in one of my small ones. This is awkward because I don't want to let go of this and have to redo everything, so I'm just going to get my screwdriver. That's a little easier. Still essentially being screwed in at an... There we go. That's a little easier. There we go. That's much easier. So it's a little awkward to screw these ones into place because you can't sort of go straight in, as it were, with the screwdriver. You need to get the screw lined up and then try and screw it in straight from a awkward angle. So if you have smaller tools, it's definitely worth pulling those out for this position. I do have some smaller screwdrivers lying around, but I don't really want to go hunt for those right now. And then our fourth one. Okay. There we go. That's that one. And then once it's screwed in, the arm will rotate on the shock absorber. You're not going to get a full rotation because it comes down to here, comes down to the base and then goes up that far, but you do get some range of movement there. And then we need to do this one. So again, it's the same as before. Line up this arm, get it into position, and then screw it all into place. That's there we go. So again, it's trying to screw these in from an awkward angle. So the smaller the tools, the easier you will find it, but equally you obviously need to have a tool with the right screw head. Case in point. What's that? That's 2. 3. There we go. 3, and then our final one. Again, coming up from an awkward angle. There it is. And there we have our arms. So as I said, you get a rotation at the elbow, but it's only a slight up and down based on where the body is. There we go. Let's move that to one side for now. Right. Let's put away the screwdriver set. That can go away. Move that to one side. That should be our spare screw. So now we need 2 of our PB screws. Put the spare one to one side. And this should position the bottom of the infrared light support onto the inside base of the front torso. Okay, I see. Sort of. So, yeah, okay, so this needs to come and rest like that. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but there are screw holes here and on the base here, so obviously we need to screw these 2 points together. So again, let's get things lined up. Let's see where we are. There we go. There we go. Take one of our screws, put that to one side, take this screw, try to get this, trying to do this so that I can actually see the light coming through the screw hole so I can line things up. Here it is. No. Right. Okay. I'm going to do these screws off camera and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've nearly got the second one in. This was fiddly. It's not difficult. It's just fiddly and awkward to get in the position. I have found that taping is your best friend. Tape the chest piece so you don't have to hold that in position. And also, I would recommend, once you've got this lined up, tape this as well, just to keep it in position. It's also better to use a smaller screwdriver. I found the other one I was using was a little too big to get it in to a decent position. But there we go. I've now got the 2 screws in without too much trouble. So now I can get rid of this tape. He says. So and get rid of the electrician's tape. There we go. That made all the difference. It really, really did. So I'd highly recommend using a bit of tape, either electrician's tape, masking tape. I suppose sticky tape if you have nothing else, but you might find it leaves a bit of gluey residue afterwards, so that's something to bear in mind. But there we go, we've got our LED, our infrared bit in place and our chest unit, and you can see that comes down nicely. It's a little awkward to get it clipped back into position. I'm assuming that will be a little easier once everything else is assembled. But there we have that. And then, despite having needing the battery, that appears to be getting put to one side. So I think we can move. Yeah. So the next part is also quite simple by the looks of things. It looks like it's just going to fit the battery compartment. So let's bring in part 34. So part 34. You know what? I'm actually going to get some more tape and tape it back up. Where's my blue one? Right in front of me. I'm just going to put some more tape on this just so it doesn't keep coming loose every time I'm trying to work with it. Eventually, there we go, that'll just hold it in place while we work. But here we have part 34. We get our back unit, and there's some nice moulded detail on the back unit. Let's see, sort of some gears here and detailing here. From what I recall, these aren't painted on the show either, so if it is accurate, that's obviously the back unit, and we'll eventually clip in something akin to that, I guess. It's certainly a big unit. I can go to one side for now. We need our screws. And then all we're doing for this part is connecting our circuit board, which is this one here, with the battery housing, which is this piece here. this is our battery housing. With this facing that way. The circuit board is to screw on like this. So we just need our screwdriver and 2 of our screws. That marked in and lined up. Do the same here. Again, I just need to line this up, screw it into place, screw this one into place, and there's that. Then we take our battery, and this will fit into here with this. So the battery will plug into this housing here, if I'm correct. Nope. Got this upside down. There we go. So the battery will plug into the connector closest to the power switch. And then this literally comes down here, like so, and then this wire comes in and connects here. There we go, like so. And that is part 34 done. Next, it looks like we're moving on to the base, possibly. Oh no, it looks like we're doing some more internal work. But for now, that will do, I think. There we have our Tyrannosaurus. It's a heavy unit. Size-wise, it is pretty big. I don't think I've got a tape measure or ruler near me, I'm afraid. No, I don't. I got anything of scale. Yep. So you can see this is one of the Lightning Collection figures, so which is obviously around the 6-inch mark. So you can see here the torso is coming in at about 6 inches as well. So it comes in at about the 6-inch mark, and that's obviously just for this part of the torso. So it is going to be a very big Zord once complete. And it's certainly starting to look really good as well. But there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon, and until next time, may the power protect you.